Morning class. Welcome to Comparative Education for Leaders. My name is Dr. Blene Betemariam. Students typically call me Dr. B. You're welcome to do so. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have a doctorate degree in educational leadership, an MBA. My undergrad is in the sciences, particularly in the biology and environmental science. And my professional world, I have worked in the corporate world for over 10, 11 years. And later on, I moved into education, particularly teaching in secondary schools and sciences. And what I really found very fascinating and interesting is that science as a subject was not very appealing to most of my students. So it taught me and I learned how to make it more palatable in bite sizes so that students comprehend it more, which made it more fun and interesting and engaging in the classroom, which led me to actually press on or push on to my terminal degree for my doctorate in educational leadership. And after actually teaching a few years, 7, 8 years in the high school, primary school education levels, I moved to East Africa, particularly in Ethiopia, to work in an international setting and policy, strategy, program design, development, and evaluating impact of education and how to improve the quality as well as effectiveness of teaching. During those years is really why I had this lens or this interest to combine comparative education or educational system thinking towards also leadership thinking, because most of us do go to universities and colleges without thinking about where or how we impact other countries. So I thought this would be a very good introductory class so that we start thinking about our role as leaders as well as impact in different settings. So in terms of my expectation in the classroom, I expect an engaging class. We all learn from each other. And as such, I expect students to also engage in, conversations. There's no silly question. There's no silly ideas. So I would like to make sure that we have an open-minded classroom, very encouraging, where we learn, where I also learn from your experiences, your perspectives, ideas. So in that setting, I have established, hourly sessions to have a one-on-one discussion with you to learn more about your interest. And I actually have a sign-up sheet on my desk, and I expect you students to sign up for, your slotted, assigned one-on-one conversation with me. And if for whatever reason we need to cancel or postpone it, let's communicate via email. And if any student wants to switch with another student, I'll leave it up to you to negotiate in terms of, what exchanges and what dates you have available so that you can determine what works for you. In terms, if I have to reschedule, I will let you know ahead of time and have, alternative sessions with you. So to start with, I would like to learn from you, obviously your name, your correct pronunciation, where you are in your career, what your goals are, and also what you want to learn from this class. And I'll give us this time about 5 minutes so that we can go through the class, as well as at the end of the class, I'll expect each one of you to sign up on the sheet that I referred to. So a little bit about the course. The course has two parts. The first part is explores concepts. We look at contemporary research for concepts, theory of practice, how it's been applied in the form of leadership or forming leader style. And the second part is exploring more on, again, using contemporary research on practices of the educational system in other parts of the world. We'll look at what drives certain practices to be, priority in certain countries, what has been effective, what has not. So we'll have a look at our experiences in terms of that. And the learning objectives, the takeaway from the class is in three ways. The first one is basically making sure that we have the knowledge, the foundation to base our, analysis on. So we will explore research topics on different educational systems, leadership. The second part is where you apply your critical thinking, analysis, and evaluation from your perspective in terms of what you think is effective and what you think is not effective. And the third piece is to see what you can take. What's the takeaway from what we've learned in class, and see how that improves our leadership style, improves our delivery of education, how we support other teachers, become effective leaders in our environment. So we will make sure that we see how it applies and impacts our leadership styles. And the main thing I want to mention is that I expect class, all of us to follow the rubric as well as what's in the syllabus. The assignments, the topics, the discussions are outlined. The grading structure is also outlined in the syllabus. So I'm giving each student one flexibility. Out of the 16 assignments listed, I will allow you to drop one. It could be an area that doesn't interest you, or it's not really the focus of your career goals. So you're allowed to drop one, and the grading will be based on the 15 assignments. Please let me know which assignment you want to drop. So via email, so I have it on my record. And so that way it's clear and it's obvious what is going on. So you understand I understand also what assignments you're going to be following. In conclusion, I want to say that we're all here as leaders. We're all here with the objective to make sure that we have enriched our conversation and we have learned from each other. So we leave more confident and knowledgeable in our areas of profession. And I would leave you with one question to consider. Actually, a couple of questions to consider. One is that which leadership speaks to you? How do you think that would actually improve your personality, your type of leadership? And another one for you to consider is, can you as an individual have an impact? It could be in your classroom, it could be at school levels, district, state, national, or even international levels. Keep that in mind as we progress in this class. Thank you. Until next time.